Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. And I'm your host, Charles Lung. With me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Cloth. How are you doing today, Jacob?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm chilling here. I've got my warm coffee in my brand new mug that I got for Christmas.
Oh, look at you talking about things unrelated to the show.
And I have my Costa's iced coffee, vanilla latte, if you were wondering. A dreamy sidekick double espresso shot.
Not sponsoring us, if you were wondering.
No, they are not.
I wish, that'd be cool.
That would be cool if we were sponsored by the largest coffee chain in the UK.
Send them an email after this and see if they'll...
We will. Well, I'll do it. I'll make sure.
Well, that sounds like a load of fun, but it doesn't sound quite as fun as my new pitch. I've got it steaming just off the presses.
Steaming.
The metaphorical presses with my abstract steam.
Right off the oven, right out of the grill. Just cooked it up. Just let it cook for a little bit. Right out of the air fryer.
Yep. Exactly. We gotta relate to the kids, air fryer.
Yeah.
Important.
I was gonna say crock pot, but I feel like most of the kids these days don't know what a crock pot is.
I think everyone knows what a crock pot is. You're an idiot.
No, it's all air fryers nowadays.
Okay. Anyway, you can't make most of the stuff you can make in a crock pot in a air fryer. I was gonna just move on, but I can't after that statement.
You can't make chili in an air fryer.
No, you just gotta throw your chicken in a crock pot to like fry it? No, I mean you could marinate it in there for a couple hours, but
get it nice and juicy.
Yeah, but you're not gonna fry it in there.
You can't fry it after that. I feel like you marinate chicken, you gotta grill it, you know? You fry it, it's kind of destroying the flavor.
Yeah, well, because if you were gonna... never mind. I'm just not gonna get into this. Okay, so my show... I guess I'm gonna start with the background of this universe first before I get into the meat of it. So the background is that humanity has expanded beyond Earth. And you know how in every sort of show or movie involving space and Earth, it's like humanity has made like a single government on Earth.
Yeah.
That's the way things are now.
Yeah.
So in this, not exactly. So Earth has become sort of like a neutral zone where it's like, these different nations still on Earth. And the rest of the galaxy that humanity occupies is just made up of different human like governments that have, taken over big swaths of it. And they've all sort of agreed that Earth is neutral and you can't, mess with Earth.
It's Switzerland.
Yeah. And Earth has its own, governments and countries and whatever. So these, different human factions out there, they sort of fight and have their little spats. And this is about one of those. So we have two major factions. We have the ISA, which stands for Inter-System Authority, and the Outer Alliance, OA. So Inter-System Authority, that's like planets kind of close to Earth that this government has control of, and Outer Alliance has a bunch of outer rim planets that have aligned together in sort of like a confederacy to fight the ISA.
Okay, so it's like a big government versus equally big government, but, cowboy hats.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like, they're not all under one big... They only joined up so that they could fight the ISA. They're not under one big umbrella. All right. So it's not directly involved in some sort of big grand way, because we're going to start off with a very small person, our main character, whose name's Kurt Snow. And
is he a bastard? Born in the North?
No, he's not Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. So Kurt
from
Snow...
Game of Thrones? I thought we were talking about Persian Game of Thrones.
Okay, shut up. So, the pilot of the show is going to start off with Kurt. Kurt's a young kid, probably like 8 on the pilot for this little flashback we're doing here. Is young and he's working on a fighter with his aunt in the shipyards. And it's sort of indirectly indirectly shown that his parents are dead, and he lives with his aunt. We're not going to be like, oh, my parents died when I was 12. Isn't that crazy, aunt? Like with some stupid dialogue. Yeah. Just the fact that he lives with his aunt kind of shows that his parents are out of the picture.
Yeah.
His aunt's name
Like
is Winona,
Spider-Man.
but he calls her Winnie.
Okay.
And his aunt's a pilot for the OA Navy, the Outer Alliance Navy. And so he's helping her with the fighter, and this is where we sort of get the war explained, because he's young and he's asking questions about it, like why she has to leave and stuff like that. And so she's explaining stuff to him, like the war and all that stuff, and that's fun and all. And
have some cute dialogue. She'll pinch his cheek,
yeah.
tell him to go help Pa with the dinner, help Uncle Jeb with dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, she's mentoring him, like showing him how to repair the fighter.
Yeah.
And it's clear that he wants to be just like her. So, flash forward. Kurt is joining the OA Navy as a battleship crew member on a pilot track. So the way this works is that you have to join like the battleship crew for 2 years, and then you get to go to pilot school.
We should have some cool
universe.
transition from he's like sitting at the table as a kid or something. He's walking and he does like some cool turn, like, I'm gonna be the most famous starship fighter in the whole galaxy one day. And then you do a cool transition where, he starts turning his head one way, and as he continues turning his head, it transitions to the famous actor that we've gotten to play him. It's Andrew Garfield. We got Tom Holland. Tobey Maguire's there. He's playing the mainest character.
Tobey Maguire, yep.
And he's like, we start out and it looks like he is a very famous pilot, and then we pull away and he's actually, getting in line to start serving on the bullshit 2-year sadness crew. Aboard was it a Star Cruiser? Is that what we said?
It's a battleship, yeah.
Battleship,
essentially, yeah. It's all. I mean, it's just a fancy name for a big ship that flies in space.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we could do like. It'd be funny. It'd be funny if he was like watching a TV, and so that transition is not to his face, but to like a movie playing, where it's like him getting an award for being a great pilot, but it's not him. It's like a show he's watching, and we zoom out to see that he's just watching it. And someone calls him Kurt so that we know that it's him. Like his friend or something. Kurt,
then they throw like an empty can at his head.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't use cans in this new future. It's like a protein tube.
Protein tube, yeah. Right into his face.
Protein tube. Right
Looks
in his
like a
head.
toothpaste container.
Yeah, but it's full of
in
like...
his eye. Does the rest of the
like,
show with the eye patch on.
Yeah, he's got the toothpaste cap just stuck in his eye, and he's like, I need to go to the doctor. We get someone to take this out? No, you got to do 2 years service before you start getting your medical medical benefits. And he's like,
that sucks.
Fine. All right.
Yeah.
Is this a comedic show, or is this more of a drama? Action
I'm
drama.
okay with comedy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be too funny because it's not super funny. But I need comedy because there's sort of a relationship in the show that kind of needs to be comedic.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. Because we haven't really gotten to the meat of the show yet. We're still in the pilot episode, where I'm just setting everything up.
Yeah.
So a few weeks into his thing, like working on the battleship, just floating over his home planet, his aunt's given him secret pilot lessons. She's not supposed to do it, but they're on the same battleship. So he hangs out with his aunt all the time. And, she's giving him pilot lessons, teaching him how to do stuff. And, he's getting sort of secret knowledge.
Yeah, maybe she can be like physically, she's aged. Maybe we could have her, she lost a limb or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm okay with that.
What if, okay, now this might be a little too far. What if she's lost the entire bottom half of her body? So she's only a top half, but she still flies a plane, so they just kind of slot her in to the plane. They have a special thing, so they attach her wires to her bottom, like a
Charlie,
metal
I don't
thing.
think we want to go too dramatic with her because she's Uncle Ben.
Oh no, that's a good point.
He's getting these lessons, and then his ship gets deployed. They're doing a attack mission against the ISA. They're trying to attack one of their planets that they think is under-defended. And so they end up in the battle. It's an ambush. They're above a planet called Marone. That's the name of it. And there's a big ISA fleet there. And they're getting wrecked, They've got some crazy new weapons that they don't know of. And they're like, whoa, their plasma bolts are really big or something. It's some sciencey weapon that they have that's destroying all the ISA or the OA ships. And during the battle, the ship is boarded. And Winona comes and she finds Kurt and she's like, we got to get out of here. I gotta protect you because, I made a promise to your parents or something. Yeah. And, you're like my kid now or something. It's emotional. Some
Uncle Bad shit. I get it.
And so she's running around killing ISA boarders like a badass, Kurt's like, oh my god, my aunt's cool. And she goes to the bridge and downloads something. And so it's all destroyed there. All the people are dead. The captain's dead. And she, grabs something from the bridge. And then they run into the escape pods. And as she's putting him in the escape pod, she gets shot in the back. This is an emotional moment. We got some sad piano music playing.
Yeah. Sad.
And she takes the chip out of the back of her helmet that she took from the bridge. And she puts it in the back of his helmet.
Yeah.
And she says, get this back home. And then shoots his escape pod down. And as his escape pod's preparing to launch, the glass shuts and stuff, Kurt sees her turn around and start shooting the people, holding them off.
Yeah, she's doing the cool badass sacrificing herself to, and maybe we I'm not sure how what the design aesthetic of this universe would be, but I'm imagining the guys, the what was the organization that's in charge that we're fighting?
ISA.
ISA. The ISA has kind of more mechanical. I'm going historical with this. It has World War I kind weapons. They're all space weapons, but they've got kind of the design aesthetic of a World War I weapon, and the what was it?
The OA.
OA is they're more flintlock pistols and revolvers and old-timey space pirate and cowboy.
Okay, so we have more a wooden sort of rustic look for the OA, sort of frontierish, and the ISA is stormtroopers. All look the same. All have the same black guns or whatever.
Yeah, big scary guns that shoot red lasers. And
maybe
the OA. No, okay, maybe they don't shoot red lasers. They shoot some other lasers.
Oh, wait, no, the bad guy shot green in Star Wars, I think. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're right.
Okay, so she holds him off. He gets shot down. He's upset because his aunt just died. His only adult figure in life just died in front of him. He's shot down to Earth, or Marone it's called. Not Earth, the planet. Earth as in ground. And so, he hits the ground. He's all disheveled because they give you all these drugs injected into you when you're launched in a drop pod, so you don't cry from the impact and explode because of the atmosphere and stuff.
Maybe your blood, it turns your bones into gelatin so that they don't all break. Wouldn't that be weird? If there was he was locked into the seat, and then without him knowing that this is gonna happen, just 6 needles come out from behind the seat and stab him in the neck.
Yeah.
And he's pumped full of all these weird, this weird chemical cocktail that turns him into basically a giant jelly bean person. He's just a jelly kind of person.
Yeah.
And it lasts for 20 minutes. So he gets out of the plane and he's really sad, but he's also a gelatin person. So he falls over, passes out.
He's throwing up, passes out, wakes up, and he's all sad. And he's trying to pull himself together, and he hears a voice in his head that tells him not to be upset. And then cut to black. That's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
The next episode is about how he finds out that his aunt had downloaded the ship's AI and put it into his helmet. So now he's got an AI in his helmet. Her name is Sierra. And then they were like confused because she's like, you need to destroy me. We lost the battle, and so we have to destroy the AI so that they can't find the lanes to get back to the OA.
Yeah.
In this universe, you have to go to
There's
light speed
routes
in certain lanes or routes so you don't hit anything. I think it'd be interesting because if you just, let's say if you did normal light speed jump like in every other sci-fi universe,
you just hit a rock.
We'll just say you'd hit a rock. It'd explode, because it's not like you're all of a sudden just like air or dust or something flowing through. You're still like a solid ship. So you just smash into the rock. So in this universe, you have to get into a lane. So they're trying to hide those, hyperspace lanes from the ISA so they can't attack the OA's planets. And the AI obviously knows where they are because it's the ship's, main controller. And so Sierra's like, you got to blow me up. Kill me. Smash me. I've got to die. And he's like, what? Like, why would my aunt give me to you if
you were supposed to
you're
die?
Important. And he also wants to get home. So he's like, I don't know where they are. I don't know where these routes are. It was the AI is the one that's in charge of that. And he wants to get home. And eventually they sort of figure out together that why would, because they're asking the question, why would his aunt put her in his helmet? And the AI realizes like, oh, she must want me to bring the battle data back to the OA so we can figure out what kind of weapons they have and then reverse engineer them so that we have them too.
Yeah.
So that's what the story becomes. Kurt, Snow, and Sierra, the AI, on Marone, this new planet controlled by the enemy, trying to figure out a way off.
Yeah.
And so they're going to go around this, big planet, go on some adventures. So one of them I got is like a bandit fight in a desert camp. So this is going to start off pretty early. Probably in episode 2, they'll come upon some bandits and they'll get captured. And this is where he first realizes why it's awesome to have an AI. Yeah. Because this AI is used to controlling and managing an entire ship. And now all this AI has to do is analyze the situations for this one guy. And so the AI is like, all right, you have a gun. Turn 40 degrees to the left, shoot. Turn 80 degrees to the right, shoot. And then shoot forward. And he's like, okay, he does that. And all 3 of the bandits just die because she perfectly calculated their movements. So they'd know exactly where they are.
It'd be cool if, for the first, action sequence they have together, he's been, blindfolded somehow.
Yeah.
And, handcuffed, and she, tells him exactly what to do. And, he does it, and he manages to escape, and it's, an amazing shot with his eyes closed, completely blindfolded. And then he's like, holy shit, that worked really well.
Yeah. Because at first he's sort of distrustful of Sierra, because it's this weird AI. But he's like, this is awesome. I have superpowers, essentially. I've got this thing that can calculate everything immediately in the back of my head. Another situation where I think that would be fun is in sort of a chase scene. So he's running through a slum city I have. It's it's plate metal and scraps. And he's running through a city, running from ISA soldiers. And Sierra is giving him the perfect route to run through. She's swing through this window, and as you get through, punch to your left. And then he does, and he punches a guy right in the face. And then it's jump down here, hop in this car, telling him exactly what he needs to do to get through.
Maybe also there could be points in which she tells him to do things because she doesn't really understand the difference, moral humanity. So she's swing through that window and punch to your left, and he swings through the window and he's just doing what she says. He punches to the left, and it was an old man.
And he's like, shit, I didn't want to punch him. She's like, well, he could have been a threat. I don't know. And he's like, no, he's not a threat. And he has to explain to her, God, what are you doing?
Look at him. He's just you see 2 grandkids cowering in the corner, and he's like, I'm really sorry.
And she's like, punch them too, they could be dangerous. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna punch a kid.
Yeah, and then they shoot at him, and he's like, fuck, and he dives out the window.
Yeah, the kids shoot at him.
Yeah. it'd be fine. And he, dives out the window, and she's like, this isn't, because I think it would also be cool if there was like, he is a good improviser, and she's all about having a plan, and that's kind of their dichotomy.
Yeah.
So sometimes she's like, there is literally no way to get out of this. You just have to surrender and be captured. You could never survive a fall that great or whatever. And he's like, have a little bit of faith. He jumps out the window, he's got something, he stabs into the wall, slides down, jumps into another window, punches an old man, because that's what he likes to do now.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And yeah, the slum city, jumping through, maybe he meets like somebody who's sympathetic to his cause. And Sarah, what's her name? Sierra, yeah. Sierra can tell because she's like, I scanned the, area around us, like by, a 6 mile radius or whatever, and found that there are precisely 3 households that contain OA, technology or OA whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like hacked into that stuff because maybe she has like an innate connection to all OA technology because it all uses the same
network.
Network or operating system or whatever. And she's like, if you go in here, he'll make sure that they don't get you. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, just trust me. And then he, is escaped and saved by some old man that he doesn't punch.
That's good. Punches 2 out of 3 old men.
Ooh. Only the old men who help him does he not punch.
Sort of the big arcs that I want from this show is the AI becomes more empathetic, becomes more human-like. So it starts off as very robotic, telling him to punch old men, I guess, as you said.
Punch old men, shoot kids, do, whatever you need to do to survive and win this war.
So you have in the beginning where it's like, the AI will advise him to do things that are, like, they'll help him, but they're morally not great. Morally questionable.
Dubious. Or just evil.
And then later on in the show, the AI will calculate like the most morally decent route as well. When they're going through situations, it will also take morals into account. And then Kurt's sort of arc is that he becomes more empathetic, because I didn't explain this earlier, which I should have. Because his aunt is giving him like secret lessons and stuff, and he thinks he's kind of like a hotshot pilot.
Yeah.
He thinks he's like, he's on this battleship crew, but he's clearly thinks he's better than everyone else and thinks he should just skip right to flight school and doesn't have to do this whole battleship thing. But through time, he becomes more empathetic and more grounded.
Correct. Yeah.
Because of his relationship with this AI, where he is so dependent on someone else for help and support.
Yeah, and maybe he could, like, throughout the series, I don't know if you had this idea, but, like, the helmet could, maybe something at the beginning could happen, and so they're kind of fused together. So that would make sense for, like, she's like, kill me, you have to destroy me. And he's like, no, I can't, because if I kill you, I also die. The only way to kill you is to blow my own brains out, which I'm not going to do. And so that could be a way that they both kind of get to know each other a little bit better. And she doesn't just have to talk to him. She can just, like, go in his head. And they can telepathically communicate. And also, I think it would be cool if in one episode there's, like, he's running away from the OA, or ISA. He's, or maybe he's breaking into a facility in order to break somebody out that has information that he needs, whatever. And the ISA uses, like, a new technology on him, or like uses some sort of EMP gun, and so it just messes with her, Sierra, a little bit. Yeah. So maybe she could be very confident about things. She could be like, maybe Kirk is like being held at gunpoint. She's like, there's no bullets in that gun. He's like, what? He's like, trust me, there's no more munitions in that gun. You need to take it away from him and hit him in the face. And he does, because he trusts her. But because she's malfunctioning, there are, like, it's a full magazine. He just gets shot in the shoulder. he manages to take the guy down, but he's like, ow, the fuck?
There were no bullets.
What the fuck are you doing? I've been shot. and she's like, oh, sorry about that. The thing's down this hallway. Go for it. Have fun. I'm gonna signing off.
Reboot. Okay. That's interesting because I didn't think about them being fused because at the ending of the show I need him to be able to take her out. That's true. But we can sort of come up with a reason for that. Like they get fixed or something. At some place. But I was also thinking of like a reoccurring joke where he like takes her out of his helmet, to like, cause he's like getting annoyed. So he like pulls her out and like, all right, I need a break from this. But we don't have to do that. Maybe we could do something else.
Well, maybe it could be, because I like that idea. Maybe it could be that she is because, we're giving this AI a little bit of human characteristics. So maybe she's kind of like disgusted in the fact that she's in a helmet. Like I was a battle cruiser.
Yeah.
And now I'm headwear. That's not okay. So maybe she like is grossed out at the fact that she's a helmet, and every time that she's annoying, he takes her out and puts her in something that's worse than a helmet. Like she gets put in shoes.
Yeah.
Or she gets put in like a game controller. I'm just looking at stuff that's on my desk. She gets put in somebody's phone. I don't know.
Okay.
And she's just like, ugh, I don't want to do this. This is gross. I don't
it's
like
even
being
worse than the helmet.
At least it doesn't smell like his head.
Yeah, because
I'm just kidding. I don't have a sense of smell. Yeah.
Okay, so the end of the show that I have is they finally get a ship, right? And they're going to get off, and it's like a big, final battle where they've got the ship. They're going to escape. You have to find like a ship that has a hyperdrive engine, so that's why it's so hard to get one. Mm-hmm. But they finally get one. They're stealing it from a ISA base, and so there's a big fight going on. All the friends they've made along the way are helping them escape. And he gets to the ship, and he gets shot in the back. Just like his aunt. Boom.
Just like his aunt.
Cinematic parallel. And he struggles barely puts the chip, the AI's chip, into the ship. And then he's like, Sierra, go. And he stays back, and he's like, having his badass last stand, just like his aunt. Perfect cinematic parallel. Everyone watching it's like, oh my god, we're geniuses for doing this.
Yeah, these guys, very smart pilots, they're very smart.
Yep. And right as it looks like Kurt's gonna die, the AI, the ship comes back, and you hear the engines like really loudly, and it's like all of a sudden it's just machine gunning down all the enemies, and the doors open, and it, a little robot comes out, picks up Kurt, pulls him into the ship, gets put in like a little healing tank or whatever. And he's all right. And the guy's like, I wouldn't have left you, And he's like, but the mission, it's more important. It's like, and it's, I don't know what the line would be, but something to show that the robot is learning that the mission's not all that's important.
Yeah, maybe she's like, I've grown fond of my, my, maybe she can refer to him as like her engineless vehicle or something. Like my meat car.
Yeah.
Like she sees him as sort of like a vehicle, just like she saw the ship. And it's like, yep, that's my meat ship. And so she's like, I've grown fond of my meat ship.
Maybe we can come up with a better word, but I kind of like meat ship.
We'll come up with something. Yeah, meat ship is fun, but we can come up with something better.
Yeah, and that's how the show ends.
But I like that show. Do we have a title? Do we have an idea of what a title might be?
We didn't even say the song yet. Do you have a song? We need an emotional song. Something,
Well, every time we talk about a space show, I think we should end with Rocket Man. But
really?
That's yeah.
I always think of David Bowie.
Yeah, I know.
You can do Life on Mars.
We could do Life on Mars. Life on Mars is a pretty good song. But I feel like it doesn't really reflect the
space
journey that our characters have had.
I don't know.
Hey, what's that song? It's like, hey there, Delilah, what's it like? Isn't that a Simon and Garfunkel song?
No, we're not doing that either. Let's do Wonderwall. That's the ending song.
Let's do Wonderwall. All right. Yeah. Let's do...
we do Echoes.
Let's do Firefly by Owl City.
All right. You can fuck off. That was the show. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, and with me as always has been my co-host, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, give us a like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your dog all about Jake's idea for the show that we don't have a title for, but he's going to come up with
there's
one.
There's a title.
Probably. There's a title. What's the
you'll
title?
see it on the thumbnail.
It'll be in the thumbnail. All right. Thank you all. So long. I love you.
Bye.